Welcome to Podblivion. I'm your host, Void, and joining me is your other host,
Cassie.
Yep, Cassie. I say your name.
Oh.
She's my sister. So this is a video podcast where I play a semi-relaxing game, usually, unless my sister's playing.
Yeah, that was chaotic.
And we just talk about stuff. We have a few topics that we rotate between every 3 or so episodes. Mm-hmm. And just so you guys know what we talked about in the last two episodes. 2 episodes ago, it was Zelda. Very last episode, it was more of a wild card episode. Mm-hmm. And this episode is a regular topic. And the final topic before we rotate again, we're going to be talking about Judge Dredd. Now, Judge Dredd is get out of here.
Okay.
Judge Dredd is a comic series, not a superhero. He is essentially a super cop in the 22nd century, and he is the lawman, the ideal lawman in a society where the authoritarian leaders, such as presidents, dictators, such, are a thing of the past in America. The only government is really the judges. They carry out the law, and it's a very interesting. Well, it sounds dystopian. It actually, it's sort of just is. Yeah. And it's very interesting. And I somehow got Cassie into this. She was like, "Oh, that sounds interesting." So now we're doing a sort of a book club, and we read through a good portion of the comics. We started back with Volume 1, and we are now going to be discussing the second half of Volume 3. Now, I just want to say that the second half of Volume 3 definitely shines more, at least to me, shines more than the first half of Volume 3. Lots of very standout stories.
Yeah, there were definitely some that I was invested in for sure.
Yes.
That, even though it was, triple the length of maybe those, one-off 5-page stories, I breezed through it.
Right. And also, actually, before we get into it, there is something that I forgot to mention last time we talked about Judge Dredd, which is that I had, for the first time ever, I had a Judge Dredd-related dream.
Oh, I think you briefly mentioned this and wanted to talk about it.
Yes. So, this is very crazy, because, I don't think I've ever had a dream about comics before, so this is a very new experience for me. So, I didn't actually meet Judge Dredd in the I almost said in the dream. In the meme. I didn't meet him in the meme. Don't let your memes be dreams. But I do know that it was set in that world because I did see judges.
Okay.
So here's what happened. I was actually in the wilderness. I was in a place that I think it was kind of like a bayou almost. Sort of, it seems sort of jungly.
I guess my brain immediately goes to Princess and the Frog. Louisiana.
It seems like a very Louisiana type place.
Okay.
I don't know if it was actually in Louisiana, but it was there was vegetation. So it wasn't really part of the cursed earth. It might have been a nature reservation. Okay. Sort of outside city limits. Okay. But like within jurisdiction. So anyway, this guy that I was in the dream was not me. At least I don't think it was me. And for some reason, I wanted to detonate a nuclear bomb in the middle of this place. I don't know why. I don't know why I wanted to do that.
Okay.
There's just a bomb. I think it was I just found it. It was a relic from the war. So
were you just a random villain?
I don't know. I don't think I was. I seemed to just be a civilian.
Okay.
I think I was just I was messing with it, and I think in the dream I did not understand what I was messing with. And but I wanted to activate it. I wanted to set it off.
Got it. Okay.
So I'm just knee deep in a swamp,
yeah.
Or like a marsh or something, with all this Spanish moss and stuff around me. And then as I'm tinkering with this bomb, some judges come down. They're riding these hover scooters, and they come down "Citizen, what you're doing is illegal." And so I get taken into custody. But what they don't actually put me in jail. What they do is they have this special sort of sentence for me. The sentence is to educate me on what the bomb would do.
Oh.
So
okay.
What they do, but it's sort of in a very forced kind of manner. So when they take me into custody, they don't handcuff me. It's actually different. It's what they do is there is this floating box thing. Like this metal hovering box thing meant to hold one person. like a transport prison, I guess.
Okay.
So like I get sort of like drawn into it, and I got these like metal cuffs come over, like like in James Bond or whatever, when he's like cuffed to like a table.
Yeah.
With, like these metal things.
Yeah.
It's like that. So I'm facing out, but I'm suspended inside the box.
Okay.
And it sort of just, it's like hovering upright, and it like hovers away with the judges escorting it. And I'm taken into a facility. In the facility, the box hovers over, there's a big screen, and I'm hovering in front of this control panel. And my arms are released, so I'm allowed to touch the control panel, but I'm still like, the rest of my body is just stuck inside the box. So they have me do this interactive, like, educational thing where I just kind of like press the button to go to the next slide.
Yeah.
And like show the interactive thing. And it shows a 3D topographic map of the area that I would have detonated the nuke in.
So basically like what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, but it's like 3D.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you can see like the terrain.
Okay.
But
so
it's like a grid, but it has bumps.
Okay, cool.
And it's on this screen, this pretty much black screen. And so they just have me like, okay, press the button, go to the next thing. So it shows that the nuke would have, since the climate of that place is humid, it shows that the nuke would have created superstorms in that area. Oh. And yes, there would have been vegetation eradicated, but also there would have been superstorms, and the climate would have drastically changed. I don't know if that's how nukes actually work, but it seems believable.
In this stream, yeah.
Yeah,
that seems.
And actually, speaking of nukes, we'll circle back around to that at some point during our talk about radiation. But they're like, yeah, it's going to change the climate, and it's going to make all sorts of megafauna. It's going to mutate things and stuff.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. In the dream, I didn't know that.
In Dream and Judge Dredd world, that seems logical.
Yes.
It tracks.
Yes. So they did not put me in prison. They just had me do this thing. They forced me to do this educational thing so that I would know that it was dangerous and what it would have done.
It's kind of like if you get a traffic violation, sometimes you have to go back to like driver's ed school.
Yeah, but
and, like,
it felt less difficult than that.
Okay.
Because I just had to, I don't know if there was a test involved. I don't know if my dream got that far, but I just sort of was doing this like if you went to a museum.
Yeah.
And it's like, how a fossil is made. Step 1, it dies.
Okay.
Like, yeah, just kind of like that. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. And I know that Judge Dredd, even though that judges were present, it's like you kind of like, you know how you have a dream and you just sort of know what is and what isn't in a dream? So like I saw judges, I saw the recognizable like yellow and red and blue of judge uniforms, but I just knew that those judges, neither of them were Judge Dredd.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting that I had my first Judge Dredd dream. Yeah.
Did anything happen after you were learning stuff, or did they just?
It just kind of ended there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember leaving the facility. I just kind of was looking at that.
And then
stuff.
You kind of woke up.
Yeah, and I just woke up.
Interesting.
Yeah. It was a really interesting dream.
Seems on par.
It does. It seems very on par with a Judge Dredd story.
Yeah.
Like, little Timmy, we need to educate you on nukes.
Right.
It's like, but I didn't know, Dredd. Well, now you do.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, now let's actually get into the stories.
Okay.
I'm going to kind of just... I wrote down a lot of these things, but I'm going to skip past the... For now, I'm going to skip past the ones that are less important to me.
Okay.
So I've got like 6 here.
Okay.
That are, in my eyes, the most worth talking about.
Okay. I'll compare them to what I wrote down.
Yeah. The first one is sort of related to Cursed Earth, if you have anything that takes place before that.
I think I know. So I have, the first one I have is Death of a Judge.
Yes, okay. That is definitely before, so we should talk about that first.
Okay. So I wanted to talk about this one, because I was just like feeling some type of way about it.
Okay.
I guess my biggest thing, so the premise, if you recall, is that the normal just shenanigans are happening.
Right, there's criminals.
There's criminals. A judge dies.
Yes, a judge is killed by the criminals.
And one of the other judges is apparently in love with the judge that died.
Right, sort of like Hidden Feelings, but they come out when the judge dies. Yes.
Yeah, it's like, I loved her, gosh darn it, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And so, Judge Dredd, I guess I just felt like he was really cold. He was like really cold-hearted when she died, and he said that this judge knew what she signed up for and was like, pull yourself together. And I don't know, like, as much as you have to be like efficient at your job and basically robotic in this world, I guess I just felt like he could have, in that moment, showed at least some form of compassion.
I guess so.
Like even cops in today's society, like if one of their own gets killed, like they want vengeance. Like it's a manhunt for this person that killed another cop, you know?
Right.
So I guess like it just felt extreme, I guess. Like I felt like he definitely could have showed a little bit of compassion while still being like his usual pull yourself together, we gotta do this thing. And then also I felt like it was extreme that in the end, this judge who loved the judge that died was like he was like pursuing the guy, right?
Right.
And was like, I'm gonna kill you. And Judge Dredd, instead of letting the judge kill the criminal, ended up shooting the other judge to stop him from doing that. And then the criminal's like, oh, you saved me from that other judge. And there was some sort of like random like bullshit life lesson that they slapped on it at the end.
Right.
But I was just like, I feel like Dredd could have shot the other judge and had it be not lethal.
Right. He could have disarmed him.
He could have disarmed him and not killed him.
Because he had not killed yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you are right about that. That's a good point.
And so I guess, like, if we're talking about fair sentences and an eye for an eye, if somebody, like, you know, commits mass murder, I feel like in terms of fair sentences, it would be safe to sentence the criminal to death. Mm-hmm. But in this case, it was just inconsistent because he didn't do that. But then on the flip side, goes ahead and kills a judge.
Right.
So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that? Because I just felt like...
I understand the concern about him. Yes, he could have not killed him.
Yeah.
The way I interpreted it at the start was that he felt like he didn't have enough time to do anything else before the guy killed him. I don't know. I don't have as many negative feelings about that story.
Okay.
I kind of like the angle.
Okay.
Because it's kind of showing like what a judge's mentality is. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, she died and that was terrible, but you can't become the criminal in the process.
Right.
You can't let your feelings make you into the very thing that you are working to try and stop.
Yeah, and I get that concept. I felt like it was it could have been more nuanced than what happened.
I guess so, but yeah, then again, these are the earlier comics.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I feel like most of it was fine.
Yeah.
And it's like, because, you know, judges have to be on top of their game at all times because crime is happening all the time.
Right. So I understand the aspect
it's like
of
war.
like, yeah. So I understand that aspect of it's like pull yourself together, kind of like they do that all the time with soldiers in war. You're in the trenches. It's like some like your friend gets their head blown off or whatever.
Right.
And you're like, like that's a crazy atrocity. It's gonna cause you to have PTSD, and like your sergeant's like, pull yourself together, soldier. Like I do understand the premise of the story.
Yeah.
And like from that aspect, I liked it. I just felt like it could have been more nuanced.
Okay.
So I had some negative feelings about it.
Okay. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That was really it for that one. I was just like, what the heck?
Right. I had a feeling you were going to talk about that one.
Yeah. The next one I had pulled up is the Great Plastine Disaster.
Ah, yes. Plastine.
So
yeah, Plastine. Well, first of all, I think just Judge Dredd is going around at just normal, and then stuff starts disintegrating.
Yeah.
It's revealed that a lot of the stuff in the 22nd century is manufactured using this material called plastine.
Yeah.
And the reason it's all falling apart is because there is a microscopic bacteria from outer space that is eating it away. So they just kind of explore like this angle of what are we making stuff out of in the future?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, since you wrote this one down as a major talking point, I'll let you take it from here.
So my first thought was, given it's the freaking future, shouldn't they have better infrastructure? Like, shouldn't they have better infrastructure and know that you can't make everything out of one form of material? Like, ideally, having a combination of materials to make it, like, the most sturdy, but also the most cost efficient is what they should be doing. And I know that they explained plastine. The reason why they were making everything out of plastine is because it had all sorts of uses. You could use it for tires. You could use it for buildings. It could both be thin and thick and flexible, and like it's like a all-purpose material.
It's like a wonder material.
Yeah, it's this special wonder material. So I get that. And because it's a wonder material, it's the most cost efficient. Like I compared it to plastic.
Right.
Like plastic, you have a wide variety of uses of plastic and can turn it into all sorts of stuff. But that doesn't mean we make buildings out of plastic.
Right.
You know?
I think the idea here is that this is literally an all-purpose material. Like, thinking about it this way, if we actually had something like that, and we could save the environment with it and make everything out of it, and it didn't have all the flaws of other materials that we knew about. Like, if we're like, okay, this thing won't burn, it won't crumple, it won't, like, you know, it won't have all the flaws of, like, anything that could happen to these other materials that we typically have used in the past will not happen to this thing.
Yeah.
I would understand why they would jump on that wagon and just start making everything out of it. They don't have in mind that there's going to be a bacteria from outer space eating everything away. But yes, that does bring up the flaws of using one material for using everything. If there is a flaw in it at some point,
you're screwed.
you're screwed. Like, there was this is an example that you wouldn't really know about, but there is this game called Wolfenstein.
Okay.
Which is like an alternate history where Nazis win, and they go into America and they start building these large, like, megapolises out of concrete. The concrete is like, it's like a limestone concrete, but it actually has a flaw. There is a sort of like a mold that can infiltrate it and weaken it.
Okay.
So it's like that. It's
Yeah.
like you build everything out of this thing, and you think you like kind of build your whole legacy on this.
Yeah.
But then there's like one flaw and suddenly it's over.
Yeah.
While plastine is interesting, it definitely seems like one of those concepts that won't make it past Volume 5.
Yeah, for sure. Because it just...
It adds a lot of... You have to, like, write around a lot of stuff with that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I was just thinking about how we currently make buildings and how, for example, with wood, it can burn, but
Right.
I think it's relatively a cheaper material and more cost efficient than other things like concrete. Like concrete, if you have blocks, you have to lay it, you have to put stuff in the middle to, like, seal it together. Like, it's a slower process of laying bricks with concrete than just, like, couple nails, here's a sheet of plywood, we suddenly have a whole wall in 2 seconds. You know?
Yeah.
But with the downside of wood, it can burn. So I guess I was just thinking about how the most efficient way would be using a combination of materials so that you have, again, that infrastructure, but also you kind of skirt around some of the how expensive it would be. You kind of skirt around that.
Right.
It's kind of like this nice little balance of it needs to be sturdy, but also, like, you don't have billions of dollars to make a building, right?
Right, yeah.
So I guess that's what I was thinking with that.
I did like the little twist at the end, though, which sort of highlights the inherent flaw of relying on everything, like relying on this material for everything.
Yeah.
Because in a twist of irony, the guy who is pretty much responsible for this disaster, the guy who's in charge of, like, the off-world exports and stuff, he's holed himself up behind, like, a sheet of plastic. Or not plastic, but like a
bubble.
Yeah, like sort of like a sterile, like, sheet of translucent material, not plastine, but something else. And his upset workers are going on strike. They barge in, and they're like, "We got the things. Like we want to talk to you." He's like, "No, wait!" And then he drops dead because his heart was actually a replacement heart made of plastine.
Yeah.
That was the little twist there.
But what I wanted to say related to that is, like, did they ever solve the issue? Because they ended the story after the guy died because his heart gave out because it was made of plastine. But, like, they never really addressed, like, did the bacteria destroy everything and then...
I think
just die and then they had to rebuild?
I think they just sort of offhandedly mentioned that they couldn't stop it. Okay. I guess the implication is that it just sort of destroyed everything and then they rebuilt everything.
Yeah, because they didn't, like, explain that.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of...
They just kind of brushed over it.
Yeah, it doesn't have a whole lot of logic and hold on the rest of the comics.
Yeah, because I was
interesting concept, though.
It is definitely an interesting concept, which is why I wanted to talk about it. But there was definitely flaws in the story of, like, okay, let's just... Because they were talking about, we can't stop the bacteria, and everything was getting destroyed, and it was a losing battle. So I guess they just implied that they had to rebuild, and...
Sorry, I just distracted by this guy in slow motion. Let me kill this guy.
So I guess it was just implied that just everything got destroyed, and they had to rebuild.
Yeah, which, I don't know. It's interesting concept, but yeah, doesn't really work.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid.
But yeah, no, definitely interesting.
The next one is the Black Plague.
Okay, yes, that's also the next one I have written down.
Okay, cool.
I love...
Yeah.
So, the Black Plague. So, viewers and listeners, when you hear the Black Plague, you might think of the historical pathogen that wiped out a lot of people during the Dark Ages.
Mm-hmm. Fleas on rats.
Yeah, this is definitely a plague, but not of that kind. No. In this story, the Black Plague, which had like 4 parts to it, by the way.
Mm-hmm. It just kept going, and I hated it.
Cassie hated this because Cassie, you see, something you guys might not know about Cassie is that she is a bit of an arachnophobe.
Yes, I don't like spiders
at
all. And
this story was about a nearly endless swarm of mutant spiders that came out of the cursed earth. And they called this the Black Plague.
Like, they explained that they've seen them before, but they had never swarmed like this.
Yes.
And something was causing them to swarm, basically.
And we never found out what that thing was.
We never did. They just were like, let's kill them all.
Very mysterious. Very concerning.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cassie, I just kind of walked in as Cassie was reading this, and she was like, I'm like, yeah.
Like, I hated this story, especially when they were initially describing how the spiders were killing people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they went in way too much detail than I needed to know.
I loved the detail. It added that it was horrifying.
Like, it literally made my skin crawl and gave me the heebie-jeebies.
What, they, like, sucked the juice out of them or something?
Yeah. They, like, described the noises and, like, the little legs, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah. So, like, when a spider is super big, Cassie doesn't really have that big of a problem with it. But when it's just the right size to be, like, of skittering size and crawl over your body type size, these things are big, but not so big that they couldn't crawl on you. Like,
Yeah.
People were getting, like... They were getting, like, ran over by these spiders.
Like, they're the size of your, like, the average human hand, I would say.
Yes, or
like, adult hand.
Like a hand or a head, yeah.
And to clarify, I don't have a problem with spiders when they're super big in movies, like, when it's unrealistic.
Yeah, like when it's like a kaiju.
Yeah, like, think, like... You know, that one Harry Potter scene in one of the earlier movies?
Yeah, like the spider in the woods, yeah.
Like, there were a bunch of spiders, but they were, like, super big to the point where it didn't give me the heebie-jeebies because they were unrealistically large.
Yeah, like fantasy spiders and Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so those don't really scare you all that much.
But it's like, when it's the size of a spider that, like, could be realistic in real life, that's when it bothers me.
Yeah.
And these were like...
It was the average Australian experience.
Yes. I hated it. I hated it so much. And I was
Yeah.
like, when is this gonna fucking end?
It definitely wasn't one of the best stories, but I did like just the overall concept. The writing was just kind of like, okay, this is happening, and
Yeah.
this is happening, and it just kind of kept going.
The fucking names of the characters, man.
Oh, what were the names?
Moe's big left ear.
That's right. That's right.
And he literally had a big left ear. And then they had Uncle Flatface. And he literally had a flat face.
Yeah, so, because these guys are muties,
Yeah.
so they have mutations.
Which makes sense, but like, I don't know, that seems insulting to just like name a person based off of the mutation.
Well, it could be the sort of like, where this could be the sort of situation where you just sort of like own it.
I guess.
Like I don't know, I think that that's just how it happened. They just like, maybe they had a different name, but they're like, you know what, I have this now, so we're just gonna call me so-and-so, and I'm gonna own it, and it's gonna be awesome. And just a brief aside, Judge Dredd is for the most part sort of a sort of cyberpunk type of world. Like, you see a lot of Mega City 1, and it's very like high technology, big mega city, but outside of those cities we have the Wasteland, which is called the Cursed Earth. And I do like how, okay, so we got a big taste of the Cursed Earth thanks to the story arc of the same name, the Cursed Earth, God, it was like 5 parts or so.
Yeah, it was actually later on in the second half of Volume 3, there was like a Judge Dredd stats, and if you read the stats, it literally said that
It's his longest adventure.
it's his longest adventure.
Yeah.
I think it said like Prog's like 60 something through 80 something. Like it was a long, like it was like 20 stories basically.
Yeah. But yeah, every now and then, I'm glad that every now and then we're still exploring the Cursed Earth.
I am too.
'Cause-
It's really interesting.
Because the thing about the Cursed Earth is it really reminds me, whenever they have a story that has to do anything with the Cursed Earth, whether there's stuff coming out of it or Dredd has to go into it, it always reminds me of Fallout. Like the game series,
Okay.
which has, it's basically just set, all of Fallout is just in the nuclear wasteland.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kooky stuff that happens out there. And most of it is mutated animals. But it just sort of, it highlights, whenever this happens in Judge Dredd, whenever we have this sort of stuff dealing with the wasteland and the radiated horrors that lurk in it, I recently realized while thinking about this that nuclear radiation, what I like about it in science fiction is that it is often treated like the science fiction version of magic, where it can do fucking anything.
Yeah, that's true. There's no like rules.
Yes.
They're like,
There's
this
no
just
rules
is.
because it's just this spectacle of what could it do?
Right.
Like it's this very like, it's the one thing in science fiction, or the best known thing anyway, that is treated as the thing that can just do whatever, because
It's a free pass.
it's a free pass, yeah, like magic.
Like, it's a free pass of, like, I want to have this crazy batshit thing that's going to happen.
Right.
And you know what? The explanation is radiation.
Exactly. And they use magic in the same way in fantasy.
Yeah.
And I love it a lot. I love it a lot when you can just do whatever with this thing in science fiction.
And speaking of whatever, they literally have a mutated fucking talking horse
Yeah.
named Henry Ford.
I forgot about that. I forgot
Fucking
about Henry Ford.
Henry Ford. You know that?
Yeah, the horse with teeth.
Yeah.
It's like a horse that eats meat and it talks.
And it has massive fangs. Like crazy massive fang teeth.
But it doesn't eat people. It just
It just eats meat. What?
Where are you going?
Chase after it. Can you chase after it? Where is it going? Oh. Okay. Okay.
I was saying we never saw him again.
That was wild.
What the hell?
You're gonna have to zoom in on that shit. You're gonna have
Has
to do
anyone ever seen something like that happen in this game?
You're gonna have to do like a replay and zoom in, because what the fuck?
So what happened there was the Yiga did his like backflipping thing.
Yeah.
He was gonna do the thing where he does a backflip into the just floating position where he fires arrows at me. But because he hit a solid surface, he just kept going.
Up the mountain.
Up the mountain.
Vertically.
He probably would have kept going if the wall hadn't gotten steeper. Anyway, what we're talking about, Henry Ford, the talking horse.
You're aware, by the way, that
Henry Ford is a real person.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
He was the guy who made made Ford.
Yeah, he made Ford Automotives.
But Henry Ford, the horse. Yeah, just stuff like that. It just radiation has no limits to what it can do in science fiction.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it. I was honestly a fan of it, and Henry Ford pulled through.
Yeah.
I honestly like that character.
Yeah, I liked him too.
I like how Dredd had to team up with the talking horse.
Yeah, and he's like, you gotta ride to the city and warn him, because the swarm started like going towards the city.
Right.
By the way, before it started going towards Mega City 1, when it was surrounding Adam Gulch is the city in Mutiland.
Right.
Someone rang a bell to warn the people that the spiders were coming. And I wanted to mention in a previous story, a bell attracted a flying rat swarm, as we know.
Yeah.
And I was wondering whatever happened to said flying rats. Because could you imagine if they rang the bell? And then not only do they have the issue with the spiders, but now these fucking flying rats are attracted to them out of nowhere, and then you have to deal with both the rats and the spiders.
It's like, oh no, it's the spiders. Oh no, it's the rats.
Or what if you like somehow use the flying rats to your advantage and create a war between the rats and the spiders?
Crazy.
That would be nuts. That
Absolutely
would have been
crazy.
So funny if they brought that back. But of course, that's probably like that was a one-off thing. I'm guessing.
I know, it's still headcanon that those rats are out there somewhere for me.
They're just, same here. That's why I thought about them. I'm like, wait a minute, these rats are just out there somewhere flying around. What if the bell attracted the rats again?
There's like anything, a lot of this crazy stuff that's related to the Cursed Earth, I'm just headcanoning it. I don't care what the future comics say. I'm just like, okay, this stuff is just out there.
They're just there.
Yeah.
They're just around. Any other thoughts on the Black Plague?
I don't know, I just thought it was cool. But yeah, I can understand the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Cassie's gonna love this.
Yeah, I love as in hate.
Yes.
But they're two sides to the same coin, technically, so.
Did you just say two sides of the same corn?
I meant to say coin. It's
yes,
corn.
we got popped and buttered.
It's corn. It's da. It has juice. It has a juice. What is that?
But yes, interesting story, and not the only Cursed Earth related story in that.
Yeah. The next one that I wanted to talk about is Uncle Ump's Umpty Candy.
This one's actually important. I can't tell you why.
What?
Yeah.
Holy crap. It seemed like a one-off.
It's not a one-off.
Holy, okay. Well, okay, it's good that we're talking about it now, so I know that. But, basically, as you know, the premise is this guy is making candy, and it's so good that all the other people are getting mad because it's like, he's gonna make us go out of business.
Right, and that's not the only thing. This candy is addicting.
Yeah.
But it has no nicotine or any sort of stuff like that in it. It's addicting because it is the best flavor ever.
Yeah.
Which is like, ugh.
Right, but I wanted them to reveal, this guy was not a bad guy. He
was
did
not.
nothing wrong. He was just a really good entrepreneur and made the best candy ever. But I really wanted them to reveal that this candy had, cocaine in it or something. Because then it would make sense, but it didn't. The reason why I wanted to talk about this was because at the end, they basically tracked down the guy that made the candy and was like, you didn't do anything wrong, but sometimes the innocent have to suffer. And I just fucking hated that bullshit message that they smacked on at the end of this. That, sometimes the innocent must suffer because, the guy literally did nothing wrong. But he was given a life sentence in isolation.
Yeah, it was sort of a for the greater good type deal.
But, it's still bullshit. Like, I know it's for the greater good kind of deal, but I just felt like that was such a bullshit thing to do because, like, again, capitalism, we have no laws against people just being good entrepreneurs.
Right.
Like, if they genuinely have a good product, then they should be allowed to have a good product. You shouldn't be punished for that.
Right.
And so, if all the other candies can't compete, then that's on them. They gotta innovate new ways to compete.
So the thing is, it had nothing to do with the candies not being able to compete. It was the fact that somehow this guy had made a candy so good that people were exhibiting signs of like addiction, drug addiction. So essentially, a new type of drug was made in making this candy that's so good, a flavor that is so good that no one in the real world could comprehend what this flavor is. It's just that good.
So in that case, could they have asked the guy to adjust the flavor so that it was less addictive?
Well, that's the thing, because now everyone knows that he is capable of making that. And the whole idea, the reason why they sent him up into space is because they knew that other people would want this secret, and they would peddle this as drugs to make a profit off of it. Society is in danger because of this candy that is so freaking delicious.
Okay, so I guess I get that, but it's still... I feel like considering he technically didn't do anything wrong and got punished for it, I feel like it still isn't fair.
That part sucks.
And also, even if he did do something wrong, even if he did commit a crime, I don't think the punishment equals the crime in this case. Because, think about it, they sent him up into space so he could live out the rest of his days in space. But they literally they gave him a life sentence. I would equate this to a life sentence in prison in isolation.
Right.
Like, they literally call that the hole for a reason in prison. Like, you go fucking insane to not have any human interaction.
Well, I guess they were just considering, like, okay, if people found out where this guy was, they would try and break him out and get the secret out of him.
I guess I just wish that, like, they could have done something different so that, like, he wouldn't go batshit crazy.
I honestly, aside from him having to get sent up into space, I do like the story. Because
I do too.
It's just like, holy shit! You basically just made a whole new drug.
Yeah.
And it's in a very unorthodox kind of way. Like, I just like that.
So don't get me wrong, I do too. But just the ending pissed me off.
Okay.
Because, like, keep in mind, putting someone in isolation for like more than a couple days even is considered cruel and unusual punishment. Anyone, no matter who you are or how much mental control you think you have, would go literally insane getting put into a confined space, not super small, but still confined space with no human interaction. You can't talk to anybody.
I know. I just think it speaks to how desperate the situation was. Like, they were describing, like, they were like fentanyl addicts or something like that. It must have been, honestly, to them, it must have been so concerning seeing what it was doing to people.
That they're just like, you know what, we'll just...
We got to do something drastic.
Like, he's gonna go batshit crazy. It is what it is.
Yeah, I personally have no qualms with it. Like, I mean, yes, it sucks that he had to get sent up into space, but honestly, I think it just reflects the nature of the whole situation. Very unusual.
It still pisses me off, though. I'm like, man, they couldn't have, like... I don't know, done something to where, like, he could... Hopefully there would be some sort of technology to where he could, like, interact with family or something.
Right, but, you know, you never know what people looking to make a profit could do with any sort of communication devices or stuff like that.
God, that sucks.
It does suck. It's just the story.
Ugh! It still pisses me off, though.
Okay, what's the next story you wrote down? We're getting close to the one that I want to save for last.
The next one I wrote down is Blood of Satanus.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
This isn't like a crazy thing that I wanted to mention. It might just be kind of like a we talk about it and then move on.
Well, there's a good reason you want to talk about it, though.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so for those of you guys who who maybe this is one of your first Judge Dredd episodes that you're listening to, one of the wildest stories that we talked about was Cursed Earth, the Cursed Earth adventure. And there is a bit of a crossover during this story with another one of another comic character. It's a frickin' T-Rex called Satanus.
Yep.
Which stars in a comic series called Flesh, which was another comic published under the same company that publishes Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Different writer, though. This writer was a co-writer for one of the stories that popped up in the Cursed Earth story arc. Bit of a side off, but it was still part of that adventure. And so there is a T-Rex that has been brought back to life, Jurassic Park style.
Yep.
But it has genetic memories of its life in the past. It's basically the villain for this whole comic story in another series. And it's just crazy how this T-Rex is just so evil. It just keeps coming back.
Yeah.
So the T-Rex does not star in this story, but it is related to him. Take it away, Cassie.
So basically, the premise is that they essentially collected Satanus's blood.
Yep.
And there were like scientists that were thinking about, I guess, bringing him back again or doing something. More science experiments with Satanus's blood. But then they literally were like, oh, we can't because it was banned by Judge Dredd for good fucking reason.
Yes.
Okay. And then this guy who, I just thought it was so funny how they said it. They said something along the lines of, said name's character who is known for asking stupid questions.
What a way to introduce a character. This guy who's known for asking very stupid questions. What a moron. What a dummy.
It was so
Get
funny.
Get out of here.
It literally
so much judgment in that narration.
It was it literally made me laugh out loud. It was so funny. I was like, okay, bro. Like,
it's like if just the narrator just singled out a character as being a moron, despite the fact that a narrator is just supposed to not have any sort of opinion or bias whatsoever.
Yeah, and they decided to bully this character. They're like, I'm gonna bully you real quick.
What a moron. It's like, what? This guy's stupid. What a stupid dummy.
Idiot.
He asks stupid, dumb questions.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this guy was like, what would happen if you drink it? They literally were like, this guy who's known for asking stupid questions proceeded to ask a stupid fucking question.
I mean, to be fair, that is a stupid question. It'd be like, gasoline, but what if you drink it?
What if you drink it? And so this guy's like, what if you drink it? And the scientists are like, we're not gonna fucking drink it, you fucking idiot. And he's like, I'm gonna drink it anyway, man. But then he's like, I'm not stupid enough to actually drink it myself. I'm gonna have someone else drink it and do an experiment. And so basically he drills a hole in the floor of his apartment building and puts the blood in someone else's drink below him. The blood of Satanus essentially starts mutating a person.
Because why wouldn't it?
Because why wouldn't it? And the guy starts turning into part man, part beast, like T-Rex.
Yeah,
basically.
he part man, part T-Rex. He's basically a T-Rex, like a were T-Rex.
Yeah, and he can switch back and forth at will.
Well, not at will.
Necessarily at will.
He doesn't have control over it.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
The beast has him.
Yeah, it's kind of going back and forth because, like, sometimes he switches back and gains control, but then he's like, the beast won't let me kill myself because I want to kill myself because I don't want to hurt people.
It's like a Hulk situation where Bruce Banner literally he tried to put a bullet in himself.
Yeah.
And the other guy spits it back out.
Right, exactly. So I actually, related to that, I had a question for you. The whole concept of, like, drinking something or consuming something and then turning into a monster but then being able to switch back and forth.
Right.
It seemed familiar to me, but what is that from?
Probably Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Really?
Yeah, because the whole concept is that he creates a potion that turns him into another person, a person that is typically portrayed as monstrous, but I don't know if that's actually the case in the source material. He's just a wicked man.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the same concept.
Okay, because I was like, this seems familiar, but when I looked it up, I couldn't find anything. Like, there's obviously other concepts of this out there. Like, there's like, AI Overview brought up, like, I don't know, like vampire stories, generic vampire stories. And there's it brought up other stuff that has occurred in history, but I just, like, there was no obvious thing that I was familiar with that, like...
Yeah, I think it's the
out.
most similar to Mr. Hyde.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's nothing that, like, obviously, like, rang a bell of, like, what is this familiar to? So I wanted to ask you that question because I had no clue, but it seemed familiar. Okay, well, that answers that, because that I am familiar with that, so...
Right. And it is kind of like werewolves, too, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, it is interesting that just drinking the blood was enough for that to happen.
Right, like, why? Why?
We do have, like, it's science fiction. Science fiction tends to play a lot with the idea of genetic manipulation. Mm-hmm. I can't say I've ever seen that happen anywhere else where just drinking the blood of something is enough to, like, change you.
Right.
Because, like, I mean, like, you have, like, werewolves where like if they get, like, their genetic material on you, like a bite or a scratch, that's
like,
enough. But that's more of a curse.
And a lot of it is, like, injecting something into you.
Yeah, injecting.
And then it, like, combines with... in that sense, it combines with your blood and your circulatory system, and that makes more sense.
But, like, when it's an injection, it's more of a formula that's designed to, like, tamper with your genetics.
Right.
This was just straight up blood.
And, like, how did it, like... Because, you know, you drink something, it stays inside your esophagus and in your stomach, and then goes through your intestines and comes out of you.
I like to... Okay, so here's my little headcanon explanation for this. Okay. I like to think that Satanus, this T-Rex is so wicked and evil that its blood just does this to people. It's just a cursed being. It's just so evil, it just changes you when you get your blood in it.
Oh my god.
I think that's kind of funny.
That is kind of funny.
I mean, it's an evil T-Rex with genetic memory. Of course this is going to be, like, a very far-flung concept.
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta read more of the comics that this T-Rex is... stars in, because it sounds like if this kind of stuff is happening when he's in another comic, I just wonder what happens.
To your point, I wonder what, like, batshit crazy things are happening. And, like, what's the lore behind Satanus?
So, another little recap for the listeners. So Flesh, which is the comic series that Satanus comes from, the whole premise is that cowboys from the future go back in time and start a dinosaur ranch. Or so they start, like, farming dinosaurs, and there's this T-Rex called Satanus. It's a black T-Rex that is just evil. It's just evil incarnate. It's like the antagonist. It's just, they cannot get rid of this guy.
And, like, that premise on its own is just fucking nuts.
Yeah, it is.
Like, what the hell?
I really want to read it someday.
Oh, man.
It's crazy. So, but yeah, it's, when you've got this T-Rex, like, having this influence in the Judge Dredd universe, it just makes you wonder what kind of crazy stuff is happening in this Flesh story.
It really does,
Flesh
man.
is done, by the way. Like, the comics have ended.
Yeah.
It's no longer going. There might be a revival, but to my knowledge, it's not coming back. Mm-hmm. It's like a one and done. But yeah, just crazy, crazy, crazy.
Wild. Oh, here's some other headcanon. I like to think that because he's so evil, there's literally some sort of chemical in his blood that forces humans to digest it, like absorb it in their small intestines, like how you do for nutrients.
Oh.
And then it converts you. So that way he can create his little minions.
Oh, shit.
I don't know how people would, like, drink it, though, willingly. Maybe. Ooh. I bet he's so evil that, like, there's some sort of cult out there that worships him, and he's like, drink my blood and you'll become my little minion.
Dude, the cult of Satanus has to be a thing.
There has to be a cult for Satanus.
Oh my god. I definitely want to... Honestly, Flesh might be the next thing I read.
Yeah.
Because, God, if... I gotta know more about this.
Dude, if there's more lore for Satanus, you gotta keep me updated.
Yeah, I will. I definitely will.
Be like, okay, here's more canon for Satanus.
Yeah, just crazy story. Do you have any other stories you want to talk about?
The very last story I wanted to talk about is the fear that made Milwaukee famous.
Yes, I also wrote this one down.
Okay.
The fear that made Milwaukee famous. It's another cursed Earth story where Judge Dredd has to go out into the cursed Earth.
Uh-huh.
He is chasing down a criminal that is wanted for crimes against Mega City 1. A criminal called Rhode Island Red, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Rhode Island Red is a mutie, meaning that he is a person that has, he is a mutant as a result of nuclear radiation. And this is kind of tying back into what we were talking about earlier with how radiation can do whatever it wants. The reason he is called Rhode Island Red is the red in his name comes from the... look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He's got a chicken head.
Yeah.
He has a chicken head.
Well, I think it's Rhode Island Red because it's kind of like Roadrunner.
I guess
maybe
so, but like I don't know. I feel like there's something more to the name.
Okay.
Something that I honestly want to know more about this guy.
Yeah.
Because he seems like he's got a whole backstory to him.
Right.
And like, why is he called Rhode Island Red when he's out in frickin' what is it, Wisconsin? What state? No, Michigan?
I think it was Michigan because he would.
Look up where Milwaukee is.
Okay.
Real quick, if you could. Hey guys, Future Void here. So a bit of disclaimer for this next part. For the next 5 minutes or so, Cassie's audio is going to sound a little scuffed. And this is because her microphone swiveled away from her and she didn't notice until a little later because it was hidden behind her pop filter and she couldn't see it. Cassie apologizes profusely and we're going to try and make sure this doesn't happen again.
But also, so while I'm doing that, also I remember that Judge Dredd was driving through where I think one of the Great Lakes used to be.
Oh yeah, he was able to take a shortcut because the Great Lake was not there anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Milwaukee is a city in Wisconsin.
Yeah, there we go. So it is Wisconsin.
Okay, so, but that being said, Milwaukee is literally right by Lake Michigan. So Milwaukee is literally on the opposite side of Lake Michigan. So it's Michigan, Lake Michigan in the middle, and then Wisconsin's on the opposite side of Lake Michigan. So it's still like geographically in the same area as where Michigan is. I couldn't remember where Wisconsin was geographically on the map.
Really?
Yeah, I know where Michigan is. That's for damn sure.
Damn, dude.
But I couldn't remember where Wisconsin is.
Damn, son.
Yeah. But okay, so that being said, he was by Lake Michigan, up by the Great Lakes. And anyway, so yeah, to your point, going back to Rhode Island Red, I would love if they brought this character back.
Same.
Explained what the fuck he did in Mega City 1, which is why he was wanted. And then, like, how he escaped. And then I also want to know his backstory, too. That'd be cool.
Yeah. And, like, okay, when you call him Rhode Island Red, that would be within Mega City 1. Because that is East Coast.
Yeah.
So, like, was he born there? Did he become like a mutant later? Was he a mutant that was born within Mega City 1? Was he born with a chicken head and then he like turned to evil and was like exiled into like being a criminal basically by society?
Yeah, I'd like to think that maybe his parents were alive around when all the nuclear wasteland fallout happened, and they were probably normal but got radiated. And then maybe they had him later on, like got pregnant and had him, and he came out with a mutation.
Right, yeah.
As a chicken, like with a chicken head.
For some reason.
Which is so weird.
Yeah, like, I like it though. It's like...
I feel like it would make more sense if he was like a human but with feathers.
But no, he just has a chicken head.
He just had as a chicken head.
Chicken head.
So weird.
Nobody calls me chicken head.
He got so offended by that. Oh my god. But yeah, maybe he was born in Mega City 1, and because he was a mutant and had just a literal chicken head for a head, it wasn't something that he could easily hide. Maybe he got shunned and turned to crime as a result, and then had to run away.
Yeah.
To you know.
To the wasteland.
To the wasteland.
Yeah. I definitely want to see more of this guy.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and then what's also is that, like, getting to the main part of the story.
Right.
His gang, he has a gang. So how did he, like, create said gang, like, that follows him?
He probably just went out into the wasteland and just started something.
Yeah, probably. But basically, his whole character is interesting because after the thing happened, and I'll get there in a minute, he's like, oh yeah, after that batshit crazy shit, like, I'm fine going to prison. Take me away. So he definitely, like... He has some sort of personality of, like, a law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like,
He's not a complete savage.
Yeah, so like that combined with the fact that he did commit a crime makes me wonder, like, he's definitely more, but he definitely had more of like a complicated character story than most, so I'd love to see if they bring him back and explain all that.
Yeah, it would be great. And also, like, just to get back to the story itself, so he's hiding out near Milwaukee, which, according to the story, they reveal that Milwaukee, this city in Wisconsin, was for some reason hit directly by a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why you would bomb Milwaukee.
Well, they said that something went haywire and it wasn't intentional, but they bombed themselves.
Oh.
And then it was too late and the people weren't notified and couldn't evacuate.
Okay. So this also ties back into the whole, like, nuclear radiation does whatever it wants kind of thing. So Milwaukee was rumored to be cursed. Like, you don't want to go be in Milwaukee at night.
Yeah.
And it turns out that what happens at night in Milwaukee is all the lights come on. And, like, amusement parks and stuff, that it all comes to life. And then the deceased residents of Milwaukee come to life.
Yeah, they literally have zombie skeletons.
Yeah.
That, like, come to life.
Just corpses coming out of the ground.
Yeah.
Which is, like, wild. Like, nuclear radiation is doing that.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, what is the explanation for this? Like, I was wondering if ghosts were real, because I'm like, I know that you can do pretty much fucking anything with radiation, but it just seems even more far-fetched than the normal excuse of having radiation, to have zombie corpses come back to life, specifically at night.
I want to think it's just radiation. Like...
But how would radiation do that? Like, it feels more like a ghost story than
That's what I like about radiation. It just does all sorts of wild things. Well, I like to imagine that the radiation is somehow keeping people in a half-dead state. And radiation is energy.
Do you mean like half dead, half alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, somehow the radiation is doing that for some reason. And somehow it's like... I don't know why it would be on a timer, though, of, like, at night only.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think, like, as far as how radiation is handled in science fiction, I do like it. Like, it's just an interesting thing that they're like, oh, yeah, radiation. I think the explanation is purely radiation and nothing more.
I guess I just got confused because having it be at night only made it feel like more of a ghost story than, like, having radiation be the explanation.
I know. I'm sure there's some sort of an explanation related to nuclear radiation that we aren't thinking of.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Could be something to do with, like, being triggered by the lack of sun or something like that. You know?
That's a thought. Although I feel like maybe the sun would energize the radiation more, unless maybe there's some sort of, like, conflict that happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we need, like, a nuclear physicist or something to, like, come up with an answer to this.
Yeah.
We are not nuclear physicists.
Definitely not.
I think we should move on because we are actually over an hour.
Yeah, well, luckily that was the last thing I wanted to talk about.
Okay, so I have two stories that I still want to talk about. Two big ones. One of them was The Long Walk. The reason I wrote this one down is because, first of all, the name of the story, it seems familiar to me for some reason. And then I realized at the very end that it was actually introducing a concept that I already knew about.
Really?
In the Judge Dredd universe. Yes.
Okay.
This is actually a thing. But the way that it was introduced was really weird because it only kicked in at the very end. It went through this whole, like, this guy's old and his judgment is, like, faulty and he's going. All that just to deliver the concept of the long walk.
Yeah.
So the long walk, for you listeners, that is, it's this thing where a judge who enters retirement can choose, if he wishes, to either... he either can go into he can become an instructor at the Academy of Law, which a lot of retired judges do that. Like Chief Judge Griffin, he was an instructor before he became Chief Judge.
Yeah.
But if a judge so wishes, he can go out into the cursed earth and for the rest of his days bring law to the lawless.
Yeah.
Which is fucking badass.
Yeah.
It's just like this kind of like Lone Ranger type deal.
Yeah, I felt that was cool.
Yeah. So this is actually explored in one of the movies.
Really?
Yes. That's why I knew about it.
Okay.
But it was a really interesting way to... It was like, this is a big deal. We saved like the last few panels for this. And he went out. Okay,
Yeah, they just kind of left it at that.
It's like a really interesting way to, I don't know if backhand is the word I'm thinking of, but like just a really sort of like indirect way of introducing this big concept.
Well, is it possible that the movie just took a small concept from the comics and ran with it?
Maybe.
And made it bigger than it was?
I don't know. I'm hoping it's more of a thing, though.
Okay.
Like, I'm hoping it's not just the movie that explored it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all I had to say about that.
Okay.
Just an important thing to maybe keep in mind if it comes up later. The last story I want to talk about is Judge Death. Judge Death. I've been waiting for this.
Okay.
So, remember when I said that I had to go back because there was something I had missed? Mm-hmm. And I started Volume 5, but I had to backtrack because of something that I encountered. So the boing.
They brought up boing.
They used boing in that story. And I was like, what is boing?
Yeah.
And then I had to go back to...
I love how it's like, boing seems very practical in this story.
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, like this is a practical application. Like they're concealing this woman and blah, blah, blah. But then like in the actual boing story, it's just like nuts.
Yes, it's just freaking insanity. But then it's used for like this practical solution to a very serious problem.
Yeah.
So that is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this story.
Okay.
There's a few others. I believe this is the first time we are introduced to the concept of psychic division judges.
Yeah, we are.
The first instance of a person with psychic powers in Judge Dredd was actually during the Cursed Earth series, and you were really into that.
Yeah.
Because it is a mutation gone very right.
Yes.
It's another instance of nuclear radiation just doing whatever the hell it wants. Mm-hmm. But this is really cool because in some cases people are just getting psychic powers.
Yeah.
And this is something that is going to be showing up more often in just the population.
Ooh.
But most of these people, like usually when you hear about psychic powers, they are being utilized by the judges.
Okay.
To solve psychic crimes or whatever.
Interesting.
Or like do like mind interrogations.
Oh.
So we have Judge Amanda Amanda. What was her last name? Oh God, I forgot.
I forget.
Can you look up the page? Could you find her real quick if you could?
I'll try my best, but do you remember
like
roughly what story this was?
It was after The Long Walk and Umpty's Candy. It's like I think it's like 3/4 of the way through.
Judge Anderson.
Anderson. Okay, not Amanda. Anderson. Judge Anderson. Okay. So yes, she is our first psychic judge that is introduced. So that introduces this new concept of a psychic judge division that utilizes in a very special type of crime fighting. So yes, we will see more of that.
Okay, cool. Are there other powers besides psychic that the judges could utilize, or do you know?
I don't know. I think I don't know if psychic powers get much stronger than just like telepathy and like mind stuff.
Are there any other powers in general?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's not that like it's a rather grounded approach to psychic powers.
Okay.
Actually, no, there is something.
Okay.
No, yeah, no, they do more of it. Yeah.
Okay. Because I think in Cursed Earth, he could move objects.
Yes, he could. That's right. He could.
It's still kind of in the realm of doing something with your mind.
Right. I think if it's like stuff that they showed in like something like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I think that's something that you could have a psychic judge do.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about Judge Death a little.
Okay.
Judge Death is the titular character of this story. He is a judge from another dimension, an alternate version of Earth, where
yes, I remember this now.
Where judges decreed that to live was a crime. Mm-hmm. That the living, because since all living people commit crimes, then to be alive is to be guilty. Mm-hmm. So it was like taking the concept of judges to the extreme.
Yeah. And
so he is like a twisted, dark reflection of the concept of judges, and he has supernatural powers also. Mm-hmm. You could basically think of him as like death incarnate.
Yeah.
He's like basically like the Grim Reaper. Because he can phase through solid things. He can stick his hand into you and kill you just by doing that. And he is pretty much unstoppable. the way they have to stop him is by Judge Anderson becoming his host.
Yeah.
And then she gets preserved in Boing.
Yeah.
A brick of Boing. And they just put her on display.
That was so weird.
So yes, the concept of Judge Death is very interesting. But there's more to this. So Judge Dredd, we know that Judge Dredd is not a superhero, right? He's a very different type of comic book hero.
Yeah.
The only difference between him and Batman is that he is not a vigilante.
Yeah.
That is what makes Batman a superhero, because he is a vigilante and he has a lot of like resources at his disposal.
Yeah.
And Batman goes up against supervillains.
Yes.
Judge Dredd does not typically go up against any individuals that could be described as supervillains. In fact, most of the characters he goes up against are one-offs, right?
Yeah,
Because we gotta have a lot of like common criminal stuff, and every now and then something interesting happens. Like, I think the amount of recurring characters you could count in Judge Dredd, you could count on one hand.
Yeah.
There aren't many recurring characters. Like, I would like Rhode Island Red to be one of those characters if we get any recurring characters. But for the most part, it's been like common thugs. There was like one guy from the very first issue that came back for like one other issue.
Yeah.
There's the Ape Gang,
Yeah.
which is interesting. It's like a bunch of sentient chimpanzees.
Yeah, they actually explained the backstory of them, though.
Yeah, I didn't. The story that they showed up in this batch, I didn't really like. It was really not that well done.
Yeah.
But every great hero has an arch nemesis,
Yes.
and Judge Death is that arch nemesis.
Wait, really?
He is. Judge Death is a reoccurring character in Judge Dredd.
Oh, shit.
He is.
So the reason why I didn't talk about this is because I felt like, oh, this is weird. This is probably one of those one-off things that just goes bye-bye.
It's not.
Oh, that changes things.
Yes. Which is really interesting because up until this point, it's been just science fiction. Well, I mean, grounded science fiction.
Yeah.
There has been crazy stuff that's happened, but it's mainly just Judge Dredd, like, doing cop stuff in a cyberpunk city in the future. But this is canon. This supernatural villain, which is a supervillain technically, is Judge Dredd's arch nemesis, and he does come back frequently.
I'm shocked.
Yes, I know. It's a very weird thing.
Reason being is because it's very out there. It's very weird.
Yes.
And I thought it was gonna be a one-off thing, especially since it occurred in Volume 3.
Right. It is one of those things that actually sticks.
Okay, so do you think how it happened was that they just kind of wrote this thing and then it just turned into something bigger?
Probably, yeah.
Because that was my theory for the movie that explores the long walk, that maybe it was a one-off thing and turned into
Judge
something
Death
bigger.
does not show up in movies, by the way.
Oh.
He does not. It's a little disappointing. I know.
If it's a reoccurring, like, arch nemesis, why wouldn't they put it in the movies? That's dumb.
Eventually we're going to get to the movies and we're going to talk about that at some point.
Okay.
But, yeah. For now, just like, you shouldn't get your hopes up. He's not going to be in the movies.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I was disappointed too. So yeah, I knew about this guy because he was a name that kept coming up, and I had seen him show up in other Judge Dredd stuff. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. What's this guy all about? So yeah, he is just. It is an interesting decision to have this guy who is a super cop. His arch nemesis is death itself.
Yeah.
But I really like it. I really like it a lot.
I guess technically speaking, because he's a super cop, he can deal with literally anything.
Yes.
But that makes sense that if he can deal with and handle anything, his arch nemesis would be technically something that isn't alive.
Technically something that is more of a concept than a physical being.
Because, like, any real-life physical being, he could probably deal with and kill, as we have seen.
Yes.
Kill or take down or whatever he does.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
So, yes, the coming of Judge Death is a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why I was so excited.
Thank you for telling me.
Yes.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah. And yeah, honestly, I think, despite the fact that he is the most supernatural thing to come from this entire series, at least as far as I know, it does work.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, there's this whole, like, he's sort of a reflection of what Judge Dredd can and can't do. Mm-hmm. And he's also a reflection, like a corrupt version of a judge. And he is here to show us that while judges can be authoritarian sometimes, they could be a lot worse.
Right.
They are, I think for the most part, they are a concept executed correctly in this world.
Okay.
And Judge Death is here to show us how that could have gone wrong.
I mean, being honest, if Judge Dredd turns into a comic that has slightly more supernatural elements, such as psychic powers and such as basically death itself, the Grim Reaper, and you have other things that's like can't just be explained away by science and mutation, I'm here for it.
Yes, it is pretty much that. Like for the most of my exposure has been, it's just science fiction, cyberpunk, big city, super cop. But I think in both movies there are slight traces of this stuff still being in the background.
Okay.
So it is a very interesting choice to have your not dystopian, but just science fiction crime thriller. But then there's also this supernatural stuff that is, in fact, canon.
Yeah. Interesting.
So if a Judge Dredd thing goes on long enough, you could have some of this stuff explored. It's not beyond... It is not beyond, like... It isn't out of the question for that kind of stuff to show up.
Okay.
And to that extent, we could have, aliens continue to be a thing. Mm-hmm. There's all these things that are a real thing in Judge Dredd, but for the most part, it focuses on front and center super cop stuff.
Yeah.
And most people who know what Judge Dredd is, they think it's only that. We have the knowledge that it can be more.
Okay, that makes me excited.
Yes.
Let's branch out.
Yeah, let's branch out. And with that being said, in order to avoid this going on much longer, we're going to cut the episode here, and there's not going to be part 2. This is the end of the episode.
Cool.
I wanted to avoid, last time we did this, it turned into a part 2, a 2-parter.
Yeah.
Really, this is just going to have to be a longer than normal episode. I will try and cut this down as much as I can, though. Mm-hmm. But yes, Judge Death is here.
Okay.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this Judge Dredd packed episode of Podblivion. Blood Moon.
It was just kind of peeking.
Quickly subscribe to the channel before the Blood Moon hits. Leave a like on the episode, and we have more episodes of like this. We got Judge Dredd episodes, we got Zelda episodes, and we got every now and then we do a wild card episode. This will be the last episode in this recording session. So next episode we'll be talking about Zelda again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, also check out my Twitch. Check out the other thing I've done with Cassie, which is a Let's Play, which I've got to edit the rest of it, but it's Night in the Woods. We laugh a lot. You're going to love it. And yeah, we will be another episode of this next week, or if not, then the week after that.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's everything. So, until next time.
Bye.
Oh,
There
Blood
we
Moon.
go.
Oh God, Blood Moon. Oh no. Guys, quick. Click off the episode. Click like. Save yourselves. Blood Moon's coming. Ah!